The morning air was still cool when Hank Mallory heard a soft knock on the front door of his ranch house. Strange, since Mary usually came through the back and never bothered knocking. He opened the door, expecting to see the familiar middle-aged cook with her usual basket of bread and gossip, but instead, standing nervously on the porch was a girl who couldn't have been older than 14. Her long brown hair was pulled back with a faded scarf, and she clutched a worn cast-iron skillet in one hand like it was her ticket to survival. "I'm Ellie," she said, her voice steady but low. "My mama, Mary, she's real sick today. Fever and cough. But she said the job needs doing, so I'm here instead." Hank blinked at her, caught off guard by the mix of grit and fear in her eyes. "You're just a kid," he muttered. "I can cook," she said quickly. "Mama taught me everything. Please, we need to keep the job." Hank hesitated. Every bone in his body told him it wasn't right to hire a child, but something in her posture, straight-backed and proud despite her torn jacket, made him pause. The truth was, the ranch had grown quiet and heavy since his wife passed. He wasn't used to company. But loneliness had a way of softening judgment. "Just one day," he finally said, stepping aside. Ellie nodded and stepped inside, without another word, heading straight for the kitchen like she already knew it by heart. Hank watched her go, still unsure what he'd just agreed to, but something about her presence, her confidence, her fire stirred something long dormant inside him. Maybe it was the silence of the ranch, or maybe it was the way her voice reminded him of what he'd lost. Whatever it was, he didn't stop her. Not that morning. Not after that look in her eyes. By the time the sun climbed high over the ranch, the kitchen had transformed into something Hank hadn't felt in years, alive. The rich smell of sizzling butter, fresh biscuits, and simmering apples clung to the air, wrapping the house in warmth. He paused in the doorway, watching Ellie standing on a wooden stool to reach the stovetop. Her small hands worked quickly, flipping pancakes with practiced ease, her brow furrowed in concentration. For a moment, Hank almost saw a younger Mary there, and the memory tugged at something deep in his chest. "Smells better than usual," he muttered, his voice rougher than intended. Ellie looked over her shoulder, her face unreadable except for a faint flash of pride in her eyes. "Mama says you cook like you care," she said. "That's how I learned." Hank said nothing, but his gaze lingered longer than he meant it to. When the ranch hands filed in for lunch, the usual scraping of forks against plates was replaced by murmurs of surprise. "Who made these grits?" one asked in disbelief. Another bit into a biscuit and grinned. "Tastes like Sunday mornings at home." Ellie didn't respond to the compliments, she just kept refilling plates and wiping counters like it was her duty to keep the world spinning. Hank ate quietly, watching the way she moved, efficient and sure. She wasn't just cooking, she was filling the air with something warm and steady, something he hadn't known he missed. That evening, when the house was quiet again and the dishes were drying by the sink, Hank found himself lingering at the kitchen table, his coffee growing cold. He told himself he was just thinking about ranch accounts or fence repairs, but the truth was simpler. For the first time in years, he didn't want the kitchen to go dark. And though he'd only promised her one day, deep down Hank already knew he'd let her come back tomorrow. Days turned into weeks, and Ellie never missed a morning. Every dawn, before the roosters even crowed, Hank would hear the faint creak of the ranch gate and the rhythmic squeak of bicycle wheels approaching over the gravel path. Through his dusty window, he'd watch her park the old bike against the fence, straighten her scarf, and march up the steps carrying a small basket with her mother's handwritten recipes folded neatly inside. Though Hank hadn't asked her to stay, she came anyway, moving through the kitchen like she belonged there all her life. It wasn't just the food, though the ranch hands swore they'd never tasted biscuits so light or gravy so rich. It was the way Ellie filled the empty spaces with quiet purpose. She cooked, cleaned, sewed up the torn curtains, and even patched the elbows on Hank's old work shirts. One evening, as the sun sank low over the hills, Hank found her sitting on the porch steps, darning a hole in one of the ranch hand's gloves. "You don't have to do all that," he said gruffly, leaning against the doorframe. "It's not part of the job." Ellie didn't look up, her fingers still moving in small, precise motions. "Mama says if something's broken, you fix it, even if it's not yours." There was no hesitation in her voice, only the calm certainty of someone who'd learned to keep moving, no matter how heavy life got. Hank didn't reply. He just watched her for a moment longer, noticing how the light caught her hair and how her shoulders seemed far too small for the weight she carried. She didn't complain, didn't ask for anything, not even praise. That night, after she'd gone home to care for her little brothers and sick mother, Hank sat at the kitchen table longer than usual. The house was quiet again, but it didn't feel the same kind of quiet anymore. For years, he'd told himself he preferred solitude. But now he wasn't so sure. It was a Friday morning when Ellie didn't come. Hank noticed the silence first. The kitchen didn't smell of frying eggs and fresh bread, and there was no soft clatter of dishes or gentle hum of a girl's voice filling the empty house. At first, he told himself she might be late, but as the sun climbed higher and the ranch hands gathered restlessly in the yard, Hank felt an unease gnawing at his chest. By noon, he couldn't wait any longer. He saddled his horse and rode the dusty path into town, the reins tight in his calloused hands. The little house on the edge of Main Street came into view, its paint peeling and curtains drawn. The door was ajar. Hank stepped off his horse and pushed it open gently, his boots creaking on the worn wooden floor. Inside, the air was thick and heavy. Ellie sat at her mother's bedside, clutching her frail hand. Mary's once bright face was pale and still, her chest rising only in shallow, labored breaths. Ellie looked up when she heard him, her eyes red and swollen but her back straight. She's worse," she whispered. "The doctor came last night. Said there's nothing more to do but wait." Her voice cracked, but she didn't cry. Instead, she stroked her mother's fingers gently, humming a tune Hank didn't recognize. For a moment, Hank didn't know what to say. This girl had been a force of quiet strength on his ranch, holding everything together with small hands and fierce determination. But now, sitting in that dim room with her whole world unraveling, she looked impossibly small. Without a word, Hank sat down beside her and rested a hand on her shoulder. "You don't have to carry this alone," he said softly. Ellie shook her head. "I promised her I'd keep us together. Mama said I had to be strong." Hank felt something tighten in his chest, an ache he hadn't felt in years. He didn't know much about prayers or promises anymore, but as he sat there with the girl who'd walked into his life and stitched hope back into his empty house, he made one silent vow. Whatever happened next, he wouldn't let her or her brothers face it alone. The funeral was small and quiet, held beneath an old oak tree at the edge of town. Ellie stood stiffly beside her mother's simple wooden casket, her two little brothers clutching her hands as though she were the only thing keeping them upright. Hank watched from a few steps away, his hat held low in his hands. He had offered to stand beside her, but Ellie had insisted she could handle it. She didn't cry. Not once, but the way her lips pressed together and her chin trembled told Hank more than words ever could. After the last hymn faded and the others drifted off, Hank stayed behind as Ellie knelt to tuck a small bouquet of wild flowers into the dirt. "Mama said not to make a fuss," she whispered, her voice barely carrying in the breeze. Hank took a deep breath, staring at the fragile figure of the girl who had once marched into his kitchen with a skillet and fierce determination. "Ellie," he said softly. She turned, her eyes red but steady. "You don't have to go back to that house." She blinked, caught off guard. "Where else would we go?" Hank cleared his throat, suddenly unsure how to say the words. "The ranch, it's a big place. Needs more life in it. Needs you. And your brothers. If you'll have it, there's room for all of you." For the first time since he'd met her, Ellie's composure cracked. Tears slipped down her cheeks, and she quickly wiped them away with her sleeve. "You don't have to do this," she said hoarsely. "I know," Hank replied gently, "but maybe I want to." That evening, the ranch felt different. Ellie was back in the kitchen, her brothers playing quietly in the corner, and Hank found himself listening to the sound of her voice as she read them a story by lantern light. For the first time in years, the silence that had haunted his home was gone, replaced with laughter, warmth, and the comforting chaos of family. As Hank leaned against the doorframe, watching the three of them curled up on the sofa, he felt something stir deep in his chest. Loss had once hollowed this place out, but now, against all odds, it felt whole again.